Awesome. All right, guys. So my name is Laura Shryock, and we'll get to that slide in a minute. And I'm going to be talking about all about LifeVantage and demonstrations and sampling with your products. I think the goal is for everyone to be able to watch everybody's lessons and kickstart your job with LifeVantage and being a consultant. So let's go on to the next slide here. This is me. Hello, I'm Laura Shryock again. I'm a nurse injector and I've been a nurse for 26 years. This is my family. Yes, we have lots of animals and dogs, and I put a picture there in of me up and talking to everybody. Um, and that was a event that we had just so people could sample the products, which is kind of what we're getting into. I'm from Clinton, Indiana, and like I said, I'm a nurse injector. I'm really passionate about wellness and all things anti-aging, hence the Botox and filler, which is what I do as a nurse injector. So what happened really was I was looking for the best liquid collagen for my clients. I had too many people asking me, what collagen do I think works? How can we fight basically the aging process from within? And then I come in and write and erase some of the wrinkles and fine lines. So, or fill if they're big lines, I guess. So I started researching. And so that's how I came to LifeVantage. We have the most peptides. I'm sure you're going to get into all the education of all the products. But my thing is, how do you get your people how do you build rapport? How do you get them to sample the products, get interested in the products? And so I slowly learned, and I've been doing this this starts my third year. So I'm a diamond seller. You can walk, you can run, it's a snail's pace or a rabbit's pace. Okay. Helping others glow from the inside out is kind of what I like to do. Psychologically, a lot of how you look, right, and how you present in the mirror changes that psyche on how you actually physically feel, which is crazy to me. Didn't even think about it. But education is my jam. I do teach a medication administration class and I teach CPR. That's what I did. So that's a fun fact. I used to be a stay-at-home mom and I have the 4 children like you've seen in the picture. And so I can do all this with my many hats. And I used to really this is not my thing, guys. I was not very confident. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I always say I was a stay-at-home mom. You guys, it's a huge job, and anyway, it's safe to say I've come a long way, and that's what I want for you. All right. So what do you need to know? Know your audience, guys. Know your audience. You want to tailor these demonstrations or samples, whether they're in person or they're virtual, to your clients' needs. You need to ask open-ended questions to your clients. Don't, pigeonhole them to yes and no questions. Ask them open, what's bothering you? What do you how do you feel? Interact with them, build rapport, give examples of when and how you've used the products. And again, you'll get there, I promise. And be real by adding something personal, even other people's testimonies. If you're new at this and you don't have any, that's huge. So here are some of the products that I started off trying. So again, you can try whatever really fits your mold and whatever you have in your subscription that can maybe started you as a customer or then grew you as basically a consultant. I started off with the liquid collagen and the Nrf2 per tandem. And the collagen, obviously, I told you as the rabbit hole went down. So what I would do is I would have samples in my spa for them to have and try. So that would be something simple that if you have the collagen on stack, you can do that. The GLP-1 system, again, they want to know what it tastes like with the powder. We can mix those with the Axio. And again, you can have samples of the Axio, or you can do like the whole skincare line, like set up something where they get to sample and do the 15-minute challenge with the skincare line. So here's a few I like to use. And again, it was a process. So started off with the liquid collagen, then added some Axio. That following March, the skincare line came out. And then the following next year, October, the MB Enhance and Core came out. So you can just slowly start adding these to your events once you're comfortable. So obviously we got all kinds of products. Those are just a few that you can sample. I also have the daily wellness too. I really like that, especially in flu season. Presentation is key. So you have an inviting looking area, whether you're presenting virtually or in person. So make it look inviting. See, I'm skipping ahead. So make it look inviting. So this was at our spa. And I'm in the back there where I do the Botox and filler. So I just set up a table and I just did lukewarm water in the bowls. I had some paper towels, had some hair ties to tie their hair back. And so as they came in, I stood in there for, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours that day and just asked them if they wanted to sample some collagen or if they wanted to do the 15-minute challenge with the skincare. So make it look inviting. So in-home gatherings, where to host, spas and salons, obviously that's my gig, or wellness centers. So any gyms that you go to, that would be something you could put your information up there, and then you could ask them if you could come in. Local businesses, gyms, boutiques, and chiropractor offices. I've even went into my local doctor's office and dentist office. So don't ever discredit. I always like to think myself kind of like a drug rep. Everybody's usually familiar with that. They go in and they sell their new product. Ours are not prescription. Ours are all got from God's Pharmacy. So our products won't interact with anything else. And so it's kind of, I don't want to say it's selling, you're just educate them on that product. And then if they have clients that would like to do more of a wellness route with their diagnoses, then this is a great thing that they can add to it. And a lot of times what I'm seeing is then that helps them to get rid of some of those prescriptions. So obviously we never tell them to stop, but that does help with that. And so in virtual events, I'm not very techy. So I'm learning, and our Monday night calls do help with that a lot, of how to present and how to get all that to look good with reels. And you'll learn lots about that as we go. So best products to sample, like I said, we're going to go kind of in depth now what I use. So with the liquid collagen, I offer the small serving and the tasting cups, and I went ahead and gave you here some examples of. So I just use those little tasting cups. They inexpensive, and you can have those on hand if you need them. You can give away the little single packs of the Axio, which I have some here, if you want to, for them to have samples, and you can put them in little cute bags or just pass them out like that. Or you can do the cheaper route if you have the pre-mixed in the large thing, that you can mix it in a decanter and make it cute, and then have some kind of cute cups. I always say, remember, presentations key, cute cups that you can put those in so that they can sample that. And I guess the Axio, they'll have seasonal flavors that you can have out. So then you can do like a spring tasting, and that makes that fun. So, and then, whatever they like, then they will be more apt to purchase, obviously. And then the skincare, there's 4 steps. So you have basically your clean, and then you have your lift, which goes around your eye and your orifice of your eye. And I always say to, tap all this whole area. And then you have the retinol alternative, which I'm not sure I can reach it from there, but the retinol alternative is in the cranberry colored container. And so what I do is, you can do that, as in home. So you can do an in-home sampling where they can all try all of them. I love the retinol alternative. I always tell them, if you can't afford the whole system, the retinol alternative is what I would lean them towards. And then the 4th step is the moisturizer. But I would always say, when I would use like a prescription retinol or any type of retinol, really, I'm super sensitive. I get red and I get scaly. So I have to like mix it up and not use it every day. I would maybe like once or twice a week. And then in the dry season, right, in winter, I maybe only can use it once a week. And then I'm still red and scaly and not how I want to present. So when they came out with the skincare line, I was all in. I use all 4 systems. I love the lift. And I use the retinol alternative, which is the Renew, basically twice a day, every day. And that's what I really see in my customers too, is that if they use our LifeVantage products, and I'm doing the combo with the Botox and filler, and the surface of their skin and how they present, the smoothness, the glow is so much more than that of my clients who, haven't decided to take that step. So, I mean, personally, in hand, I can tell you that that makes a huge difference. But you have to figure out what works best for you, and it's your business. You have to think about how you can modify this to work with what you know. Okay, so you'll get there. So anyway, four step system. I like to use, if I'm just doing samples, I like to use these little pods, and I'll write 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have little printouts that tell them basically that you're gonna clean and how to do that. And then step 2, you're gonna do the lift, and then step 3, you're gonna do the True Renew, and then which is the retinol alternative, and then step 4, you're gonna moisturize. So you can number those and put those in cute little baggies as samples if you're not doing it in home. So that makes that job easier for you. I usually honestly have more people say yes if they get to sample the product. Okay. So, and I'll have those in salon too with me, so they can try those. They like to smell them, right? They like to put them on. I'm telling you, once they put the skincare on and feel the smoothness of their face, usually that's the kicker. Okay. And then that 15-minute challenge where it slowly starts erasing some of those fine lines really shows a huge difference. And I've really noticed, how much then of my eyelid and stuff I show too with a lift. So MB, and again, I'm supposed to do samples and demonstrations, but you can see how I educate. The MB, provide the powder for the sampling is the best thing for you to do with that, and you can combine it with the Axio. Like I said, some people want to purchase the Axio too in combo with that, and some people don't. So I also usually have other things that they can sample. So I put it with Greek yogurt for a high protein snack with some fruit and granola on it. There's a bunch of different mixtures that we can help you with in the especially in the Activated Weight Loss Facebook group, that can really help you of how to fix that to let them sample. Okay. So here's the Amazon, right, to help you just click away on things that you want to start with. And it's really inexpensive. You can get those 100-shot glasses for under $10. Same thing with the 50 count. I think they're like $3.99 or $4.99 for the sample containers. So those are just a few things that you could use. And again, not limited to or not a must have. So presentation and setup, make it visually inviting table, like my example. I like to usually pick a theme. If you notice, mine was pink when I did the skincare, and coordinate your setup with that color. And again, make it visually appealing. The small tasting cups for the Axio and collagen, the water decanter for the Axio, and the mini containers for the skin samples. Or you can have applicators. You can do applicators for each of your skincare. So, and then you can put it on the top of their hand and they can try it when they're actually doing their face and in person. Okay. The biggest thing I can say to be successful is to be confident, be enthusiastic, be contagious. Okay. Let them know how much you love the products. And hopefully I've kind of helped you with that today a little bit too. I mean, I do love all the products and I do enjoy sampling them. So I start with that, and I keep it simple, and I engage, and I ask those open-ended questions. I don't overcomplicate it. I try to keep it on their terms as far as what they need or what they're feeling. And then if they have the samples, right, or they've came to the party, follow up with them, ask them, what they like about it, what they didn't like about it. Is it a financial issue as far as why they haven't pushed go if you're trying to get them as a customer. Relationships drive sales. Okay. You need to build the rapport. Again, I said that at the beginning, but build the rapport. I always am caring, because obviously that's probably why I went into the nursing field, but you have to let them know that you're caring and willing to help them, and to get what they want, right? To get what they want. And if it's complicated as far as they can't push go, or their health savings account's not working the way they want to, which that's a whole tip I always say too. If you have a health savings account, make sure you put, telling them that so they can utilize that for the purchase of the products. But build the relationship and be consistent with them. Okay, consistency is key. Don't sell the product and then just drop off. Okay, you gotta continue to communicate and figure out the best way for you to do that. So the more you demo, obviously the more comfortable you'll be. And again, you don't have to do all this at once. It's a slow process. Or if you say I'm all in and I'm just pushing go on all these things, that's your prerogative. That's the great thing about this digital marketing is we can do what we want to when we want to, and the flexibility is there. So the more you do, the more you grow, the more you open your mouth, the more your business grows. So I hope that was helpful to you guys today. Try the products, sample the products. They've done a great job in activating our bodies to do the things that we need to do with our products. So we were going to stop the video. I'm not very good at that. So